Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the wonderful world of Client Engager and some of their, let's be frank, biggest updates that they've ever had. Now, these updates are all about how you as a practice can ensure that you're recording all of the work you're doing for your client and, importantly, getting the return that you need to. And how they're going to achieve that? Well, it's all about time tracking. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. From our practice, we've gone back and forth on time tracking. At one point it was never going to touch it with a barge pole. At one point it was the most important thing we ever did. We're kind of in the middle at the moment, and that's where we really like the way that Client Engager's done it, because it's not forcing our hand. We're not having to go down any particular route or anything else. But when we do need to record time, we now have the best tools on the market to ensure that we can record time accurately and efficiently, and that's what it's all about. Now in this video we're going to be looking at the stuff that's been released, and we're going to be looking at the stuff that's there now if you're going to get yourself a Client Engager license. But there's some big things happening in the world of Client Engager, so make sure you subscribe, make sure you like and all that sort of stuff to this channel, because as soon as the real big updates come to the world of time tracking that you do not want to miss, trust me, the ideas on the roadmap are insane. Make sure you don't miss out on it. So my name's Aaron Patrick. As always, this video is going to be here for your listening and visual pleasure. So don't go anywhere, and let's go and see exactly what Client Engager has for you and your business. Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with a fancy new logo, that QuickBooks Chap on the internet, head of accounts here at Boffix, and also your friendly podcaster who goes live each and every Monday morning at 8:30 AM for Ask the Accountant. Now this video is all about the friends over at Client Engager and what they've recently released. And I think the best thing to do is just jump straight in, show you what they've got, and show you why I'm really excited about this update. Let's have a look at time tracking in Client Engager. Have you got in front of me? I've got a load of clients here ready. There's a few things to note before we go any further. Some settings that are going to be really important to you. So first and foremost, if I go to my settings area and drop down to my time tracking section on the left hand side, brand new this bit, you see that we have some options. You can have a default value for will the time log need to be invoiced? Yes, no, not sure. And that's going to be really helpful for you, especially if you're using time tracking to make sure that anything that's outside of scope, for example, is being invoiced. Having this to be set to yes, no, not sure just means it's going to help the user, whoever's putting that time in, be able to make sure they make the right choice at that point. For billing purposes, we'll round up to the nearest and we can put different items in here, 6. And then for billing purposes, ignore any time recording 3. Because a lot of what we're about to show you is about automating that time process, making it straightforward, making it simple. What other updates have we got? Well, if I go to my users and I just jump into a user, you'll see now that I have options for charge out rate and numbers of working hours per week. So the idea here is I have the opportunity now to say that this person here has a charge out rate of, say, £50. And you can even put in the cost of the practice as well. So then you can really start thinking about costings and everything else that goes with it. Now, I'm going to do that for this user, and I'm also going to do it for myself as well, just so we've then got opportunities to see how that's going to go looking at it going forward. So let's say this one's 100, and again, and let's say it's 125 cost of the practice. I'm going to go and show you then one of the easiest ways to record time, and that's by using your new little feature at the top here called the timer area. Now the timer area is really straightforward. Basically from here, I have an opportunity to start a new quick timer or put in a new time log. Now the quick timer is really powerful, and the idea is that the phone's just rung and I'm going to press quick timer now. The idea then is I'm going to figure out later down the line what it relates to. I just want to ensure that I'm actually capturing that I'm covering this. I can be on the phone then, I can do whatever I need to do. When I'm happy though that I've done everything, literally from here, I can press the edit button there. I can go in and I can explain what it was. So maybe this was a telephone call. I can put a description, and personally for me, I'm going to use a bit of AI, probably grab the inscription of that telephone call, dump it in there so everyone can see what it is, or just put some points in there if we need to. Does it relate to a client, yes or no? If yes, pick the client that you need to pick from, and then you can even go down and say if it's related to a service or a task that they've got related to. So let's say it is a service and it's relating to the limited company account. I can then even say that's related to a particular phase. So it could be the fact that this is the preparation and the client's asking questions about what bank account statements they need to send in or whatever it's going to be. I can really go down into the minute detail of what it relates to. I've had the timer recording for it, and I can basically say then, do I need to invoice this, yes or no? I'm going to show you the yes on this one, and I'm going to say it's pending so we can see how that's going to work later down the line. Let's save that for now. Okay, so you'll notice that timer hasn't stopped yet. It's still going. It's not until I press the stop timer that now that time has been recorded against that client. Now, if I need to start a new timer at all, or I need to put a new log in, I can press the new log, and basically at this point I can manually enter it, right? So I can say, actually, I completely missed it, but at 9 o'clock until an end time, so let's say 9 till 1 o'clock, I was actually doing the accounts or whatever, right? And again, I can go right down into it, service or task if I need to. Again, so that's the accountant. Let's say that it was a service, it related to a phase. And now I'm basically putting the time, and again, yeah, I still need to invoice it, pending, and then just press the save button here, and there we are. Everything's saved, ready to rock and roll. I can also either from the timer button, view all time logs, or just head over to the time log over here where I got more opportunity to really go with it. I can see the billing status here is pending, invoice stage requires invoicing, what the type was, what the client is. I've got all my information here, telephone call, prep account. And if I need to at any point, I can edit these as well, put them through. There's even an advanced form there where I can go through and look at the charge out rates, etc. So for this one, it didn't quite capture my charge out rates because I didn't quite update it. So let's say that my charge out rate should have been there, and I can update that now. But because it's under the threshold of that minute time, it's not going to include it in my charge out rate. But if I needed to at any point, I can continue the charge out rate. I continue the clock just here, press the start timer, let that keep going. And I've always got that option there to keep coming back of it when I need to. So that's how I'm starting to put the data in, but it doesn't stop there. If I was actually working on a particular client and I'm in this area, and the idea is now that I'm working on maybe the deadline that's related to it. So I'm here, I'm looking at my status here, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I need to put some extra time in here. I can sign it against myself or one of my team members. And if I need to, I can actually put some time in that's going to help me. So at the moment, I've already started recording that. Now, if I start in my next phase, which is my filing one, I can stop that one, start this one, put it against me as well, so I've got the time in there going through, and it will then start putting that time in place for me. I would have this screen open anyway, right? Because this is me knowing that I've got to move on to that phase, or I've got to help out on that phase. And especially if you've got multiple phases, you might have a phase for checking that everything's there, and you might have a phase for reviewing and all those sort of things. Like, we'd recommend having more than the 2 phases I've got in the demo account, but now you have the ability to go in and be able to click into making sure that their time is ready to push it through. So I'm now saying, like, look, okay, let's get this remaining time in here. I can start that one, start this one, start that one again. I've got full control over it, right? And it just means that I'm recording the time as I need to. And at the end of every client, I can look at the statutory deadline. I can look at all of the pending that needs to be done, the information, the time that needs to be done. I can go into them. I can go and use advanced ones as well, make sure I've got the right charge out rate. Maybe I want to change the charge out rate for this one, and maybe I'm doing something that doesn't need to be the full charge out rate. It could be a reduced one or vice versa. I have the opportunity to go in here and change what these are doing. And what it does is it means I'm starting to build up the client for them. And as I then complete the current, says yes it, complete the current and set phase as incomplete, and or complete the one that I've done and put them over there, I've got all of this data below that I need to do. And I can even raise the invoice. Either I raise it from the place I just was and in there directly, or I can raise one directly here and I can start capturing that data straight away. Now, for me personally, if I go to that time tracking one, I can click on all of these items here. Got some bulk captions, so I can update the invoice or update the billing status. And I have the ability to go through and say that I'm ready. So maybe for the billing, I can say that's been billed. I can even go in and make sure it has been billed and make sure I'm happy with it. I can say, well, that one's now been billed, so I'm happy with that one. And again, if I can even raise the invoice directly from here just to make my life easier. And what I prefer to be doing myself is I want to be in this area, right? I want to be in the deadline area. I want to be in this area where I can then look at my time logs, make sure I'm happy with them, make sure everything's been done, go to my invoice area, raise anything I need to do, link existing ones if I need them. I can go through and showing invoices raised and I can link them to there. But it just makes my life easier now to say that I can go through and put all these items together and put them there. And the rates coming in automatically for me, everything's all kind of been built in as what I need to do. I can just raise the invoice directly from here. And I have that full control of it if I need to. Now, some top tips for the time logs as well. I would highly recommend looking at making sure that you don't have to relate to a client. So you can think about non-statutory or non-billable hours not being related to a client. That's absolutely fine. But if you've got some internal items that you want to record, like for example, CPD and things like that, what we've been doing is we've been going through and relating it to our own client. So we've made sure that our firm is a client within there. And we've even added a couple of services on tasks that we can go into and we can allocate against them so that we can put things like CPD down into there. And it just means that we can record against it much easier going forward and we can see that information there as needed. But that's our first look at it. It's really just showing how quick and easy it is to get the timing into the software, because we've got that new opportunity just to drop down a button there, start the new quick timer as and when we need it, and we have the opportunity to go into individual phases and record against those individual phases as well. It means really we've got everything we need to ensure that we've got the items in the right place. And I think personally that's just going to make our life easier going forward, right? Like, it's going to be so much easier now for us to go in for those timers, record the timer if we get a call or something straight away, get that information in nice and quickly, nice and easily. And then if we need to, we can go in and we can see it all in one place under individual clients. I can go to Ask the Accountant at any time, look at my time tracking. I can see what's done. I've got all of these options to do columns and change all these around, and I can filter that down as and when I need it. Again, this is just the start of it. Some really big elements come into the world of time tracking in Client Engager coming up. So I think this is going to be a really exciting time. This is just the start of it. What they're looking to do going forward is going to completely change the game in the way that we as an accounting firm are going to be able to keep on top of our billing, not only our billing, but also our profitability as well. It's exciting times. We're looking forward to it. We can't wait for it. For now, though, this is our first look at what the time tracking feature within Client Engager. Can't wait to see what else comes out. We've already rolled this out to our practice, and everyone in the practice is loving the fact it's super easy to keep on top of. If this wasn't straightforward and simple, trust me, we would have had numerous of the complaints already from our staff. We've had zero. Everyone's just been able to crack on with it, get the information, get the data in that we need as a practice to be able to understand if we're delivering the right services to our clients at the right timing, at the right value, everything else that we need to make those decisions on. Now we're being able to do that with proper data, understanding each individual aspects of a job, making sure that we're ready to be able to rock and roll with it. Love it. Absolutely ecstatic what's already here. Make sure you like and subscribe to see what else is coming out from Client Engager and other software as well. And we will see you in a video very, very soon. Let me know in the comments below. Have you had a play around with it? What do you think to the Client Engager time tracking functionality? For me, I think they've nailed it straight away off the park. And I think we can't wait to see when this new element, trust me, can't say too much, but the idea of being able to have a holistic view of how your practice is doing and be able to look at things in much more detail really does make me excited. My name is Aaron Patrick. As always, this video has been an absolute pleasure to do for you, and I hope to see you in a video very, very soon. Bye for now.